just hate it when you go to an exhibit but you're not actually allowed to touch any of the installations or the art. You're basically paying to stand in a room and look at something. All in all, I think it's pretty crap. Well, to fix this most critical of first world problems, a new exhibit has recently opened in Tokyo, where all preconceived notions of not touching the art have been thrown out the window and replaced with new trendy notions of touching everything and getting away with it because I'm bloody well entitled to. The exhibit I'm talking about is called Borderless World by Teamlab. It's located in the Mori Building Digital Art Museum over in Pallet Town. No, not that Pallet Town, Pallet Town, Odaiba. It's a huge entertainment complex near the Tokyo Bay area and is also home to Toyota's Tokyo City Showcase and a really big Ferris wheel. A few weeks ago they opened their doors to the public and I was quick to head down there and take a look around. It was evident when I arrived that it was very sensible of me to have pre-booked tickets well in advance. Tickets were already sold out and they appeared to have an entire team of door staff dedicated to the single purpose of turning people away. With my e-ticket preloaded on my phone, I could quickly pass through the entry barrier, and the only thing that stood between me and the Borderless World was a very quick, yet very mandatory, safety explanation. Now, before you proceed any further into this video, I should warn you that I'm most likely going to spoil most of the good stuff this place has to offer. But watching this video and actually being there are two completely different things, so live a little. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the dilution of your future excitement. The concept of the Borderless World is that the art is in no fixed place or state, constantly changing on its own or with the interaction of humans. Every surface is a canvas, and the intense darkness of the interior makes it feel as though you're in some kind of sensory deprivation. With the only light in the building actually coming from the art itself, it's a difficult feeling to describe. So why don't I just shut up for a minute and show you exactly what I mean. The exhibit is divided up into several areas. When you first enter, you'll be given for guidance little more than a few barely visible plaques on the wall. Since no map is provided, from this point forward, finding your way around is going to be guesswork. But that's no bad thing, as the sense of discovery is very much part of the enjoyment. Not factoring in the time it took me to actually film this video, it took me around 2 hours to see everything properly. So in the interest of saving time, I'm not going to go into every single installation, but instead just talk about my personal highlights. The first room I entered was the Flower Forest, a space that I believe was inspired by what I imagine it would be like to be vomited on by a tree-hugging, petal-eating, cosmic whale from the 60s. Either that or falling into a giant bowl of potpourri. It's quite a gentle display of petals swirling all around you and works as a nice introduction to the exhibit. Speaking of cosmic whales, I did actually spot a few as I made my way up to the second floor to check out the Athletics Forest. Teamlab's website describes this space as a creative physical space that trains your spatial recognition ability by promoting the growth of the hippocampus of the brain. So if you have no idea what I just said, then don't worry, because neither do I. This room is more of a hub that sits in the centre of the exhibit, with many smaller rooms branching off of it. As well as whales, there's plenty of lizards, frogs and butterflies scurrying around on the floor. If you happen to step on one by accident or on purpose, then they'll be reduced to little more than a gooey pile of digital paint. There's also running water flowing down the pillars of the room. You can actually disrupt the flow of the water with your bare hands, but without any of the wetness of real fluid. The brightest room in the place is definitely the glowing egg hatchery. As I entered, it felt like I was walking into that scene from Alien, where they discover the room full of facehugger eggs, but more pleasant. The larger bulbs in this room are actually floating a bit like hot air balloons, they're being sucked up to the ceiling by giant fans, although they have a very persistent tendency to fall down on you without much notice. I think it's only a matter of time before you read in the newspaper that a child has been crushed to death by floating eggs. The tallest room in the building is home to quite an impressive imaginary waterfall. Light cascades down the wall and glistens off the rock below. Obviously, the main attraction of this piece is to be the backdrop to many an awesome Instagram selfie. Although the installation doesn't offer much in terms of interaction, I certainly thought it was one of the more visually striking displays. Do you remember that game Lemmings? The one with the line of moronic blue-haired freaks willingly marching to their own demise? Well, their lesser-known projection-based cousins have actually found their way into this exhibit. The little morons can be found in this room marching aimlessly in an endless loop around the wall. By using various icons that are stuck on the display, you can conjure up a whole host of items to try and obstruct them on their path. To what end? We may never know, but one thing is for certain: causing disruption to their tireless crusade brought me a mild sense of godlike omnipotence. The theme of interactivity is widespread throughout the exhibit and is most apparent in the Crystal Forest. Before entering, you'll be directed to whip out your smartphone and download the companion app. This will give you the ability to change the installation in real time. When you open up the app, you're presented with a whole bunch of kanji, with each one representing a different theme or element. Simply hold down the symbol and swipe up with enough force to send it flying out of your device, causing cataclysmic, irreversible effects to the very ecosystem of the forest. Either that, or you just choose a kanji and the lights change colour. But I don't remember which one. The whole operation seems to be working on a giant network of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth antennas that connect your phone to the installation. But as I still don't understand exactly what's going on behind the scenes, let's chalk this one up to good old convenient magic. Whatever the process though, the result is a fairly surreal explosion of sounds and pulsing, strobing lights that leave you a little bit disorientated and borderline epileptic. Perhaps one of my favourite things to see here were the animated projections that journey down the hallways. A travelling caravan of what appear to be historic Japanese merchants make their way across the walls. They're followed in quick pursuit by a rogue band of anthropomorphic frogs that look like they just came straight out of the Japanese version of Wind in the Willows. At first I was taken aback by such an impressive display in such a confined space, but I was left with just one burning question. Where the hell are they hiding all these projectors? It's just obscene. Located near the back of the building is a kind of walk-in aquarium. The ocean room with its drawn-to-life fish was perhaps intended to be cute, but the children that this room was intended for obviously had different ideas. It's easy to see how disturbing children's thoughts can be by some of the creations that they've made. To participate in this freak show free-for-all, just draw a fish on a blank piece of paper, then scan it into the computer and they'll appear on the ocean wall, free to live out their life in tranquility. Presumably that is until someone turns the power off at night. The most therapeutic award definitely has to go to this last room. The way that this area is surrounded by mirrors makes it appear to go on for miles, and for a moment the eerie calm of the room just made me want to silently stroll off into the never-ending distance and live as a wild man in the digital lotus fields, never to return to civilization. As you exit the impossibly dark interior of the museum and step out into the real world, you'll be quickly reminded of the existence of your retinas, as they begin to burn from a sudden exposure to the overbearing sun. Having regained my vision and had time to mull it over, overall I'd say this exhibit is a solid 8.5 out of 10 and would highly recommend it, especially if you're travelling with children. The technology on display here is certainly impressive and well worth the entry fee to experience. Maybe I prefer it if they let slightly less people in next time, as it was a tad overcrowded, but perhaps that's just my selfish side talking, wanting to be able to record this video without anyone in the footage. If you like this video then please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and click the bell notification to receive instant updates the moment we upload new videos. You can also subscribe to our Patreon account for as little as $1 a month for exclusive content. Until next time, thanks for watching, I'll see you later.